testing at Watkins Glen International, some big races coming up this weekend, and racing action, all that and more on this edition of The Race Report. Hi everyone and welcome to another edition of The Race Report. I'm Ron Hills. The countdown continues to the 2016 running of the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen, and more teams tested this week as they prepare for the July 1st through 3rd weekend.
And I don't know who designed all this and who did all this to make it, but man, it's one of the coolest tracks in North America for sure. And I'm just having a blast out here testing. Yeah, I mean, for sure, our test went really well last year with Ganassi, and they were really happy, and Dixon and Charlie were obviously able to capitalize on the data that I was able to give them from the rookie test, and they won a championship there. So whether it's an IndyCar or Indy Lights or even NASCAR Xfinity, I got some calls from the NASCAR world this year kind of wondering what I was doing, if there was any chance of being back in a stock car like I was back in the day. So I want to race every single weekend I can. I'm kind of old school, and every weekend I'm on the road is a blessing, so I'm just trying to fit in anywhere I can. And if I can race more at Watkins Glen, I want to do it. If anything, it's easier because you're not looking so much into the curbs or into the track, like you're just focusing on the curbs and kind of a reference of that. So, you kind of think about like what would happen if they repaved Sebring. If they completely repaved Sebring, that's one of those places where it's like it would really take away from the prestigiousness of Sebring, so I wouldn't recommend that. But here, for what it is, and it was bumpy, but it wasn't that bumpy. With the new asphalt, it's just made it an amazing racetrack, an amazing facility. So, like I said, I can't thank whoever came up with this and whoever's, been in charge here enough, because they've done an amazing job, and I can't think of a track I would rather race at right now. Yeah, I started in go-karts at 7, first in a race car at 12, where we were the youngest person when open wheel race in the United States of America. I ended up going stock car racing 14, 15, 16. I had a sponsor when I was 17 that ended up wanting me to go back road course racing, and he basically put us in prototype lights. We won the championship there, and we ended up getting to do the Petit Le Mans that year for 8 Star Motorsports, which we ran second. And after that, I kind of got my pro deal and got hired as a pro for the first time, and ran, IMSA back when it was Tudor United Sports Car. Ran some Indy Lights stuff, and along with a part-time IMSA schedule last year, and now I'm back full-time here in European Le Mans Series. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sean Rahal. At Delta Wing Race is our race car Twitter for our race team, and then I think it's Panos Delta Wing Racing on Instagram.
It came about as it was going to be an IndyCar originally, and some of the IndyCar owners at the time had gotten together, and guy that was working with Chip Ganassi wanted to take on the design of the challenge of creating something totally different than anybody had ever seen before, and that's what they came up with. And from there, IndyCar, it didn't get accepted as the new IndyCar, so they made a sports car out of it and took it to Le Mans.
I started racing go-karts when I was 9 years old, a long time ago now. I did that for 10 years, won a few championships, progressed into Formula Ford, Formula Renault, Formula 3. But it wasn't until I came over here in 2005 that I did my first full season of racing in an Atlantic car. I won 3 races, finished third in the championship, and got the chance to move up into Champ Car. Got the chance to drive Formula 1 car, test it anyway. Drove for my country, A1 car for Great Britain. I went back and I did 3 years with Audi and DTM. I then came back and did some IndyCar. And I am now a very proud member, and have been for the last 3.5 years, of Delta Wing Race Team, developing and learning this car. And I've driven lots of really cool DP car. I've driven very, very cool cars along. Formula E. Goodness, yeah, I'm probably one of the most diverse drivers. I love Watkins Glen. I love the racetrack. I love that it's so storied and it's got so much character and it evokes so much emotion. The area just makes me feel like I'm going home, you know. It's got the rolling hills and the fresh air and the little villages and towns, and it's kind of somewhat home-like, more home-like than anywhere else, I think, in America, that we race at for sure. So always happy to be here. Always love this racetrack. There's always great racing. I love that it's a 6-hour endurance race. And they've done such an amazing, phenomenally great job at resurfacing the track that it makes it even more of a pleasure to come to now. Fans can follow me. They can follow me at Catherine Legg on Twitter and Catherine Racing on Instagram. And they can also follow Delta Wing Race.
A reminder that fans can view testing at Watkins Glen International, and the schedule can be found at theglen.com.
You're watching the Race Report on Fox 40.
For 3 generations, we've been building world-class American performance.
Like the new Edelbrock Power Package top-end kit, based on Edelbrock's powerful RPM crate engines. Each kit includes aluminum heads and intake, cam and lifters, gaskets, and hardware to build your own 400-plus horsepower Chevy small block. For 3 generations, it's pure American performance from the leader. Call now for your free Edelbrock catalog.
Edelbrock makes them right here in the USA.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyer's program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway springs into action on Sunday with the return of modifieds and late models to the Concrete Castle, along with the Sportsman, Super Stocks, 4-cylinders, and INEX Legends. Gates open at 8 a.m. with practice at noon, and the green flag flies at 2 p.m. Shangri-La 2 is located at the top of Skyline Drive in Tioga Center. The camping's always free. For more information, log on to theracereport.tv.
98.1, The Hawk, number 1 for 20 in a row.
This is Luke Bryan.
This is Eric Church.
This is Tim McGraw.
Binghamton's hot new country, 98.1, The Hawk.
Welcome back to the Race Report. Thunder Mountain Speedway is gearing up for a busy weekend with sprint cars added to the Saturday night show, followed on Sunday by one of Brett Deo's short track super series fueled by VP events. And here's some action from last year's Thunder on the Mountain.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one more thing to find out. Here they come.
As they take it into turn number 3. When they come out of turn number 4, Sammy gets up on the starter stand. We're going to answer it. Who's
50 lap, lightning on the mountain, big block, small block, modified feature is underway down the back straightaway. We've got a battle for the lead on lap number 1.
Lap number 1 at the stripe, it's going to be Chan Spoonhour, but it hit me up on the top side, sticking a nose in front now. Friesen getting way up and out of the group, but he's got a good run out of turn 2 as they motor around here to complete lap 2. Your new winner, Jerry Higby.
Higby now leading the way into the corner. Following him is Spoonhour. Then we've got another Spoonhour battling now with Borrego down the back straightaway. Charging into the turn, Danny Johnson and Andy Bicchetti.
Borrego taking a look to the inside of Billy Spoonhour. He's looking to get by. Way up on the outside, that's the Waddle Child, Andy Bicchetti. Malcolm down on the bottom as they motor into turn number 3. Mike Nagel there with that M7 machine.
Here comes Bicchetti. Oh, down the straightaway. Johnson, Nagel getting together. Friesen getting crossed up in the turn. He'll lose a couple of spots. Friesen's got front end difficulties.
Stuart Friesen in trouble with the 44. He's 1 point out of first. He's second in the point standing. Looks like he's got a left front flat, or a right maybe. Tommy Meyer, your point leader by 1 point over second place Stuart Friesen. He's going pit side with a right front flat. Green is back out. Anthony Perego, third in points. He could be the big winner here tonight. The Dr. Danny Johnson now, he's got down on the bottom. Look at Malcolm go down deep. Hang on. Woo!
It was Becchetti getting sideways over there. He saved the no contact from anybody else. Down the back straightaway, Becchetti leading the way. Johnson now third inside of Spoonhour down the back straightaway. Becchetti battling now with Rudolph and with Nagel.
Battling still up front. Hey, gonna stack them up here in turn number 4. We got a bunch of them down here. Looks like Ricky is in there to 76. Stuart Friesen, he's backing up. He's involved. Tommy Meyer pulling out of there with the 3. Side by side down into turn 3. Out of 4 they come. Higbee's on the accelerator. Spoonhour up on the outside. Down on the inside, the Doctor looking for some racing room. Billy Spoonhour, and here comes Malcolm in the Wild Child.
Down the back straightaway now, Jeff Strunk is on the outside lane. Strunk to the outside, battling with Nagel down the front straightaway, getting around Rudolph.
Jan Spoonhour not giving up on that top side. Enough guys get up there, it's going to be a great groove. As they work it out of the turn, coming to the stripe. Looks like Jan Spoonhour again retaking the top spot in the 34X machine.
Into the corner, Becchetti working the outside of Perego, Strunk outside of Nagel. Down the back now, Rudolph battling with Mahaney, and here's the side-by-side battle for the lead with Spoonhour out in front.
Starting to make a charge from the mid-pack now is their Smoker's Choice number 16 of Danny Creedon. Also down on the bottom is Scooby Rick Laubach with the 91.
Into the turn, side by side, 3 wide now. Becchetti, Spoonhour, and Perego. They were side by side. They caught Spoonhour. They go by on either side. Higbee now to the bottom. Repass.
What a battle we got up here for the top 2 between Higbee and Spoonhour. Then we got Malcolm and Johnson. Then we got Perego and Becchetti. And then we got Nagel. And up on the outside of him is Billy Spoonhour.
Into the turn, Higbee leading the way, Chance Spoonhour outside. Malcolm now challenging Danny Johnson for third, and Becchetti and Perego are still side by side.
Down the front straightaway. Chance Spoonhour trying to sneak down underneath Higbee, can't do it. Brian Malcolm right there third, Danny Johnson fourth, Andy Becchetti now up to 5th. Perego running 6th. 7th is Nagel, 8th Spoonhour, 9th is Strunk, and 10th now is Danny Creedon.
The leader just broke. Jerry Higbee pulled to the infield. The leader is broken, and we got a battle for the lead now between Malcolm and Spoonhour down the front stretch.
A bad break for Jerry Higbee, but here comes Brian Malcolm. Malcolm in the middle, but he's on the inside. He's going to be your leader coming out of 4.
Malcolm catching Spoonhour, side-by-side battle for a lap and a half, driving by. Here comes Perego and Becchetti. They've been side-by-side for a number of laps as they close on Danny Johnson.
Danny Johnson right there running third. Becchetti going way up. We got 2 of them down here. We got Billy Van Pelt and Jackie Brown hooked together. Side-by-side out of the turn, Green back out. Brian Malcolm back on the accelerator. Danny Johnson down on the bottom trying to work around Spoonhour. Got the bite this time. Going to take over second. Look at Strunky down on the bottom. He's trying to get a 3-bagger.
Into the corner now. We've got Danny Johnson up the second spot. A little bumping and grinding going on in turn 4. Here comes Perego getting by Becchetti. Now Strunk going by Becchetti. He's up to 5th.
Laubach getting batted around there in the 91. He's got a broken front shock. That's going to bring out a caution. Malcolm right there. Danny Johnson. Dennis Jeff Strunk up the 3rd now. Way down on the bottom. Here comes the youngster Eric Rudolph.
Working
Hang on.
Working on the outside now once again is Andy Bacchetti down the front straightaway into the turn.
Friesen almost getting Mahaney around.
Down the back straightaway, Strunk now battling Rudolph and Bacchetti into the turn. Mikey Nagel pulls to the infield.
Mikey Nagel taking the M7 to the infield. Bad break for him. He drops by the wayside. Eric Rudolph now, he's up to fourth in that 21R ride.
Here comes Malcolm leading the way, pulling away from Danny Johnson. 3 wide. Bacchetti Strunk into the turn along with Spoonhour.
See Andy Bacchetti, he's going to start working the outside of the speedway, trying to work around Jeff Strunk and that 88 way up on the top side. Bobbled just a little bit that time.
Coming up this time will be halfway. Here comes Stuart Friesen. Friesen coming up through the pack. We got a tangle in turn 1. Yellow, yellow.
So Malcolm picking up $100 from Simplicity. Stoll back out with the 19X as Brian Malcolm continues to lead, but Johnson now with a run up on the outside. Perego back to third. Chad Cook squeezing through there in the triple deuce. Strunk trying to work under Perego. Johnson trying to work under Malcolm. Nothing doing as Malcolm continues to show the way.
Charging into the corner now. Perego repassing Strunk down the back. Friesen battling with Chad Cook down the back straightaway. Then we've got Ryan Jordan on the outside of Hetzler.
Ryan Jordan now, he's going to go to the top side. Another guy not afraid to go to the top side here at the Speedway. Trying to keep ahead of the Mike Rickey 76. He was in an earlier skirmish. He's starting to work his way through the pack.
Charging into the corner now. Strunk to the bottom, moving by Perego, goes back to third. Chad Cook now battling with Eric Rudolph down the back, and then we have Hetzler.
Brian Malcolm looking for one of the career wins here at the Thunder Mountain Speedway, one of the big wins in his career. Brian Malcolm, driver out of Lake Ariel, Pennsylvania, got the doctor still following him there in second. Strunk third, Friesen fourth, and Perego, your top 5.
Stuart Friesen has now moved up a notch. Friesen getting by Perego, moving up to fourth. Cook behind Rudolph. Then we've got Jordan battling with Hetzler.
Again, a battle here in the mid-pack. Jeff Hetzler, Ryan Jordan up on the outside. They got Doug Manmiller trying to work up. Rusty Smith right there with the 34.
Working into the corner now, with Malcolm leading the way by about 5 car lengths over Danny Johnson. Strunk, Friesen, and Perego right behind him now. Lap traffic coming up.
Billy Spoonhour taking the 34 back to the pit area. Brian Malcolm still your leader. Lap traffic, good play into this. Danny Johnson second, Jeff Strunk third. And here comes Stuart Friesen with the 44.
Malcolm beginning to pull away just a little bit now. Malcolm pulling away to his biggest lead, but Strunk feeling the pressure from Friesen, and they're both moving in on Danny Johnson.
Parallel sticks are in the air.
Just 2 laps to go. Lightning on the mountain. Danny Johnson and Stuart Friesen moving in on Malcolm. Heavy lap traffic. Perego right with him. A 4-car duel down the back straightaway. Heavy lap traffic. Malcolm is on the bottom. Final lap and the Olms Lightning on the mountain.
White flag out. Friesen getting underneath Johnson. Perego underneath Johnson. And one going around up high in turn number 4. And one, caution is out. Gotta go caution. Caution is out. Brian Malcolm still your leader.
Malcolm, Friesen, Johnson, Perego, Strunk. One more lap. 50 laps will complete it. Here they come.
Track regular Brian Malcolm getting a good run out of the turn. Friesen have to go to the top side. Trying to work it around there. Malcolm your leader. Friesen trying to crank it up on the top side. Down, taking his time through the turn. The short track Supernational. The win goes to Brian Malcolm. Friesen for 2. Danny Johnson for 3. Perego for 4. Strunk for 5. Rudolph for 6.
You're watching the Race Report on Fox 40.
Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway springs into action on Sunday with the return of modifieds and late models to the Concrete Castle, along with the Sportsman, Super Stocks, 4-cylinders, and INEX Legends. Gates open at 8 a.m. with practice at noon, and the green flag flies at 2 p.m. Shangri-La 2 is located at the top of Skyline Drive in Tioga Center. The camping's always free. For more information, log on to theracereport.tv.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyers program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
Welcome back to the Race Report. Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway springs into action this Sunday with the return of modifieds and late models to the Concrete Castle, along with the Sportsman, Super Stocks, 4-cylinders, and INEX Legends. Gates open at 8 a.m. with practice at noon, and the green flag flies at 2 p.m. Shangri-La 2 is located at the top of Skyline Drive in Tioga Center. The camping's always free. For more information, log on to theracereport.tv. And as soon as the checkered flag flies on Shangri-La 2, fans will head across the river to Champion Speedway for some exciting Speedway motorcycle and ATV racing. Race time is set for 6 p.m. And here's a look at some racing action from Champion Speedway.
Joel the Bull leads him into turn one. Mikey Buman's coming underneath the bull. Adam middle and third. Here comes Buman in middle. Here comes Donahoe. We got a good race going on here. Great race by Middle and Donahoe. Mikey Buman in the lead still. Oh, Adam Middle was putting a great show on. He went a little wide. White flag, and we got Buman and Donahoe, 1 and 2. Oh! Mikey Buman takes it.
We leave you with modified action from Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway. On behalf of the entire staff here at the Race Report, thanks for watching. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend. Until next week, I'm Ron Hills, and I'll see you at the races.
Now Wilbur got a tremendous jump that time. That allows Hanbury underneath. And now let's see what we have. We're almost 3 wide going into 2.
Well, these guys are going to start really getting after it now. Jimmy Zach sees the lap counter, knows he's running out of time, and he's going to stay up on that high side. If anybody can make it stick, it's Jimmy Zach. And here he comes with the pressure on. Dead heat at the line. Computer gives it to Wilbur. Let's see if he can hold on. Here comes Jimmy Zach sweeping around the high side. Half a car length advantage going down into turn 3. Wilbur fights back on the inside.
You know, the tires have heat cycled a couple times. They cooled down. Zacharias just looked a lot more stable those last 10 laps. And right now, he's able to make it stick on the outside. Wilbur doing a great job to fight him off. But I don't think it's going to be enough as they go down the backstretch.
And Tony Hanbury, we've watched his car after these cars restart. He tends to fall back after about 4 laps. So I think it's between these top 2 cars, Jimmy Zacharias and John Wilbur. And Wilbur's now gotten the view he's had all season long.
Well, Tom, the way this racetrack is, a lot of people wouldn't believe that the outside is the preferred line. But as the race goes on, it's very much more evident when you're trying to make that pass. Because if you're stuck to the bottom and your tires are going away, that car wants to break loose on you. And you can see that the Wilbur was actually pinched down. He's not falling off the pace, but he just couldn't get off that bottom.
Well, right now he's trying to get back into the preferred groove. he's got his rhythm upset just a little bit because now he has to follow Jimmy Zacharias, working off the turn, and right now he's laying a chrome horn to him down into turn number 1, laying right on him as they work off turn number 2.
You know, you don't see it much in asphalt racing, but this is, you know, a lot of the dirt tracks, you have an option inside or out on restart. This is one of those places that a lot of drivers might think, I don't know. But starting on the outside, if you're the leader, isn't a bad option here again, especially as the race winds down like this.
Oh no, and right now John Wilbur is staying right with Jimmy Zacharias to the point. He loosens Jimmy Zacharias up in turn 2 last time, working off the turns. They get him nose to tail once again. And here we see Tony Hanbury starting to slide back. It's been about 4 laps since we went back to green flag. They work off turn number 2. Hanbury still in third. TJ Zach in fourth. Jerry Deneen running in the 5th position, but he's still further down in the running order. Nick Pecco is in 5th.
Ripkema looks to the inside of Shiner and completes that pass off at turn 4. Looks like Shiner's starting to get a little bit loose as well as he's now getting up the racetrack as he goes into the turn in that 35. Tom Cummings is headed down trackside. He'll get our eventual feature winner interview, but right now Wilbur on the back bumper of Zacharias as they're building the drama as they come off of turn 4, completing lap 71 for your race leader, 71. The leaders continue to pull away from your third place runner, Manbury. Wilbur very strong still as he continues to close in the turn, but again, whether or not he'll be able to make a pass, that's going to be difficult as the laps wind down. Pretty much nose to tail after third place. TJ Zacharias continues to run fourth. Deneen is that lap car in the 11. Pecco fifth, 2 laps to go. Leaders rolling the 3, and they charge off of turn 4. Gary Foles Jr. with the white flag in hand. One more time around. Ken Zacharias pulling it off. Lap car does not look like it's going to be a factor. Hanbury way back in third. Only hope for him is a mistake out front. We got trouble here in the home stretch. A double spin ultimately as the yellow comes out. So now Wilbur gets that outside line, and I bet you this is going to be an interesting restart as we get set to go. 1 lap dash for the cash out at turn 4. Green flag flies. Now Hanbury takes advantage of the low line. Wilbur tries to pinch him down low. We got more trouble in turn 1. Tyler Ripkema in the 32 on the bottom of the racetrack, and it looks like we're going to remain under green to finish this one off before it's going to be Jimmy Zacharias with the win. I believe Wilbur second.